Hey, howdy, and what's up? A few weeks ago, SLU announced a self-portrait art contest, and I wanted to throw my hat in the ring. The rules were simple, as you could use any medium besides photography, and you had to have a still life aspect, meaning you had to interact with an object in the artwork. I looked at famous self-portraits and thought about doing a painting in one of those styles, but I still didn't know what object to use. I even went out into the world and took some pictures as options. But the idea finally came out of my own office. Alright, we had an idea, but now we need a reference photo. In the end, I didn't really like any of those, so I got my husband to take another picture of me. I started by sketching out the picture onto my canvas. I didn't worry about the background because that was going to be painted yellow. If you have ever done a self-portrait, you know how hard it is to look at yourself and draw without bias. We all have an image in our heads of what we look like, and our brains can distort reality for better or worse. If you draw that, your picture looks less and less like you. Normally I would attack a painting with a grid, but since I had been practicing faces in my sketchbook, I felt confident in going grid-free. After I finished my sketch, I put down a brown wash on the canvas. I heard that doing this helps get a good grasp on values because you're starting from a more neutral tone. I started with the background and worked my way forward. You can believe me when I tell you that I had to trust the process. This picture had so many ugly phases that I was starting to think that my face was the issue. The actual problem was that I had this lamp shining on my work so I can see, but it's a yellow light, so it was distorting the way I was seeing the colors, especially as the sun was starting to set outside. Things got really screwed up as I was doing the face highlights, and I kept trying to fix it, but the more I did, the crazier it looked. I kept working on it and I was about to give up hope. As a last resort, I decided to at least do the eyebrows to see if that would help. And the funny thing is, it did help. So I kept going and I started working on the darkest darks of the picture. Once I got the eyes colored in, it felt like everything wasn't so bad. Just like that, it started looking more like me again. After the face was done, it was time for some fun. You're probably thinking to yourself that the jumpsuit I wore is not the same color as what I painted, and you're right. But I don't have a blue jumpsuit, and it's art. I don't have to draw what I don't want. So before painting, I edited the picture and changed it to blue. It was a good choice, because the blue contrasts so well with the yellow, and it was very accurate to the source material. I like to jump around when I do art, It lets me sit with the previous action and think if I actually like what I did. And if I didn't like it, I have time to think about what would make it better, and I can come back to it with better solutions. I didn't know it at the time, but this challenge came at the perfect time. Along with my birthday coming up, I got some exciting news in my career and personal life. Now when I see this painting, I can just think of all the things that are about to happen in my life. At this point, it was getting very late, and so I decided to stop for the day and continue on the next morning. Day 2 is dedicated primarily to painting the screw gun. I started with the famous DeWalt yellow. If DeWalt is watching, this would be a great time to get some sponsorships. Got to the black part of the screwdriver. I started with the highlights and worked my way towards the darker shadows. I think it really helped make it look three-dimensional. I made sure to add all of the buttons, screws, and vents. I wanted to capture all the little details in the screw gun to make it more realistic. When I finished with the main blocks of colors, I stepped away to let it dry and I worked on adding the tattoo that I have on my arm. After the screw gun was mostly dry, I came back and added all the little scribbles, warning stickers, and labels. Finally, I signed and dated it. Let's hit the glamour shots. Make sure you like and subscribe, and with that, I'll see you when I see you. Bye!